In this video, I'm going to show you 4 examples on how to solve with what is called the square root method, except for in each of these examples, you're going to notice that you have a group that is going to be squared. And so what you first want to do is isolate the group, the x plus 3 first, and then take the square root to both sides. You're going to see it's just going to be slightly different than in the previous videos. So here I'm going to start by subtracting 4 on the other side. So my group is alone. And 20 minus 4 is going to be the number 16. And now that I have my group isolated, now I'm going to apply that square root symbol. So I'll be left with just x plus 3, no longer a group squared, and then positive and negative square root of 16, which is actually the number 4. So this means I have x plus 3 could equal 4, or x plus 3 could equal negative 4. And so what we're going to do is solve both of those. So I'm going to subtract 3, and in one case I will get a solution of 1, but in the other case when I subtract 3, I'm going to get a solution of negative 7. So notice how here we could just kind of stop when we had our plus and minus, but now you may have to simplify 2 separate solutions because a positive 4 minus a 3 and a negative 4 minus 3 are going to get you 2 different answers, unlike here where we could just say plus or minus. All right, so now isolate our group first. We're going to start with the opposite of PEMDAS. So think like parentheses, exponents, multiply, divide, add, subtract. So when you're solving, you go backwards. So we want to get rid of our add before we take care of the divide. So 3 and then x minus 4, the quantity of that group is squared. And 20 minus 5 is 15. And now if I divide both sides by 3, my group x minus 4 will equal 5. So now I can apply the square root to both sides. So x minus 4 is no longer being squared. And the square root of 5, I'm going to get a decimal for that. So on my calculator, I'm going to type out the square root of 5 to get a decimal. So I'm going to put 2.24. I'm just going to round to a couple places. So x minus 4 could be positive or negative 2.24. So x minus 4 could be 2.24, or x minus 4 could be negative 2.24. And then I'm going to add 4 to both sides, actually for both of them. But watch, we're going to get 2 different answers. 2.24 plus 4 would be 6.24. And negative 2.24 plus 4 is going to get me 1.76. So these would be my 2 solutions. Okay, now, again, we're going to start with working backwards with our PEMDAS. So I'm going to add 8 first to both sides. And I'm left with 2/3 times my group x plus 5 squared will now equal 48. Now to undo a divide by 3, I'm going to multiply by 3. And undo a multiply by 2, I'm going to divide by 2. So I'm multiplying by reciprocal to undo that fraction. So multiply by 3 and then divide by 2 to undo the fraction we had before. So I'm going to take 48 times 3, and then I'm going to divide by 2. So this will get me an answer here of 72, and now I can undo my group squared by applying a square root symbol to both sides. So we're going to be left with no longer a square, just x plus 5, and then positive and negative square root of 72. And let's get a decimal for that. Oop, not that one. Let's see. Square root 72 is going to be the decimal of 8.4. I'm going to round this 8 up because the 5 is going to round that up to 3.49. And it's positive or negative here. So I'm going to be subtracting 5, but from a positive and a negative 3.49. So if x plus 5 was positive 3.49, or if x plus 5 was equal to a negative 3.49, and I subtract 5, I could have, all right, so why did I write 3.49 when it's 8? So let me fix that real quick. Should have been an 8. I don't know what I was thinking. Okay, 8.49 minus 5 is going to be 3.49, and I'm going to go back and turn this into a negative 8.49 minus 5 and I will get negative 13.49. And so those would be my two solutions. Okay, we have one more. And this one I don't have a plus or minus to go back for with my order of operations, so I'm just going to divide both sides by 2. So x minus 5, the group is squared. 50 divided by 2 is 25. Ooh, I like that because square root of that's going to be a nice whole number. So if I square root a square, they're going to undo each other, so I'm left with x minus 5. And I applied my square root symbol, so I can't forget to apply the plus minus square root of 25 is 5. So x minus 5 could be positive 5, or x minus 5 could be negative 5. And now I'm going to add 5 to both sides. 5 plus 5 is 10. Negative 5 plus 5 is 0. And so these are our two solutions for our last example, when you have a group squared.